Hey guys, Jeff from Home Renovation here, and today I'm doing something a little different. I'm gonna do what I would consider a scientific experiment. And so before we get into talking, I just want to let you know that I'm talking today about flooring, expansion, contraction. Is it all just a hoax? Is it a real thing? Is it something you need to worry about? There's all kinds of conflicting information out there. So we are going to solve the question today, do I need expansion gaps? Which products can I put in installing without having expansion gaps? Can I just do one kind of flooring throughout the whole main floor? Am I going to run into problems? Can I put it underneath my cabinets and underneath? All of this is information that's in this video. But before we get started, I got to go through a few pieces of this flooring. One I got to go throw in the oven. One I got to go throw out in the snow. And in a few minutes, we're going to bring them all back together again because we did this just before lunch. So it's been over an hour now. And if they're going to expand and contract in extreme weather and extreme temperatures, we are going to find out how much it's going to happen. This is the thing. Okay, now listen. Expansion and contraction, it's a real thing. Okay? In the majority of situations, and we got to separate the capacity for a product to expand and contract versus reality. In the real world, most people who put in flooring have got heating in the wintertime, air conditioning in the summertime, and whether the sun shines on it through a window or not should not have that great of an effect on what's going on with your flooring. And if it does, buy blinds, okay? It's a simple solution. Reality is this. When you look at the scale of products expanding, hardwood expands the most out of anything. Next to it is ceramic. Next to that is laminate. And I'm talking about that MDF stuff from like the 90s, right? Just a little picture on the top and it's all fiberboard. That stuff expands like crazy in temperature and humidity. And then after that, you're gonna have engineered flooring. And depending on the company and depending on the engineering, it may or may not perform below the laminate. It might even perform as well, if not better than vinyl. But there is no such thing as one rule fits all here, okay? Every flooring is going to have expansion and contraction to a certain degree. And under normal conditions where you're heating and you're cooling and you're maintaining your temperature, it isn't going to happen hardly at all anyway. So why is the building industry so obsessed with the idea of expansion and contraction? Well, for one thing, they love to hear themselves talk and it makes them sound smart. All right? If you don't talk about expansion and contraction with flooring, what else is there to talk about? Right? You're going to pick what you like to see on the floor. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of difference between vinyl or engineered or tile or hardwood. They all have about the same kind of levels of performance and quality. But when it comes down to expansion and contraction, what we're looking at is this. When we build a house, we like to think of it as a 50-year life cycle. So if you're putting in a floor, there's two kinds. There's something attached to the house and there's something floating, right? Floating floors, generally speaking, expand and contract more than things that are attached, largely because they're not attached. There's no restriction to keep them from expanding, okay? So when you look at vinyl or laminate or even a floating engineered hardwood, right? They have a propensity to expand and contract to greater degrees than the fixed floors. Even in this engineered hardwood that's nailed down versus one that's floating, there's a difference in the expansion contraction there. So, when you're considering which floor is right for you, consider this. If you're going to install hardwood, even though it's attached to the house, it expands and contracts the most. Gaps are going to open up if it gets too dry. Gaps are going to open up if it gets too cold, right? All these issues. So, what are we really trying to accomplish when we're talking about expansion and contraction? What we're really trying to accomplish is, are we going to get buckling when the floor bends up in the space like that? That's really the biggest concern. If a floor contracts too much, generally it's because it got too cold or it's too dry. And you can fix that by turning up your temperature or adding some humidity to your home, right? That's really easy to do. But if it's buckling, it means that you've got either too much humidity in the house or it's too hot in your house. Now, if you don't have air conditioning, this buckling effect is really important to you, because you've got to be able to manage that time of the year where it gets incredibly hot, incredibly humid. And a lot of people who live in hot, humid climates who don't have a budget for air conditioning don't have a budget for quality floors. which is why they made this SPC vinyl flooring, okay? It's a stone plastic core. The idea behind that is that it doesn't expand and contract and buckle as much as the WPC, which is a wood plastic. It's got organics, okay? So this is the solution for folks who need to have an affordable flooring in a hot, humid climate where they aren't working with air conditioning, okay? That's really what it was designed to do. The thing of it is it's so durable and it's so easy to install, it's gone crazy. Everyone's using it everywhere. So, we're going to use this little study right now. We're going to take them out of the oven and out of the snow, line it up against this one, and we're going to see how much does this actually expand and contract, and is it going to be an issue? So we've got the heat for expansion, we've got the cold for contraction. We're going to find out once and for all, right? Is this a floor that we got to be concerned about? Or can we just install it throughout the whole main floor, do great big open concept areas without any expansion gaps, without any T-moldings? Let's find out right now. Oh yeah. Woo. Okay. Okay, so here's the hot one. That rigid core just turned into putty. This is awesome. Now that oven was on at 250 degrees. And here's the one with the ice. All right. Let's see if there's any difference. Well, I'll let you decide. Is there any difference in that gap? Hot, cold, or otherwise? They all look about the same to me. Now, this plank is 250 degrees. This one is at 0, okay? If your house gets to 0 degrees or to 250 degrees, might I suggest that you move? It's time to get out. And here's why. This plank, the SPC, is designed for extreme weather. It's designed for situations where your mechanical systems fail due to electrical power failure. In the middle of the summer, your AC dies. This flooring can be continuous throughout the entire house. You don't need any joints or seams, and it's not going to buckle. It's going to get soft at 250 degrees, but if your house becomes 250 degrees, you got bigger problems in your flooring. And in the cold weather, in the middle of the winter, if your power dies and your furnace is shut off and your house freezes over, you come back a week later when the power is restored, this flooring isn't going to be destroyed either. It's not going to pull apart and break out all the joints. This is why we buy this stuff, and this is why I did the test. If you're thinking about putting something in your basement or all through the main floor, this is the floor for you. Almost every other product on the market has such extreme expansion contractions. This doesn't happen. And we can do this test again another day. We can talk about ceramic and porcelain. But in the cold, it expands like nuts and blows up. We've all seen the floor grates at the front hall of somebody's house with a big crack in it because even the floor grate is enough resistance to cause the tile to crack. We've all seen issues and heard about issues with hardwood floors and engineered flooring. Vinyl is the way to go if you're concerned at all right? This is the one flooring that no matter where you want to put it, no matter what weather you're in, no matter what kind of mechanical situation you have, this is going to stand the test of time. Sorry, but there's so much conflicting information on the internet, and a lot of it comes down to people covering their asses to make sure that they're not going to get sued because you confused laminate versus laminated vinyl, okay? The truth of it is, a good vinyl with an SPC core is the perfect flooring for you. Anywhere, anytime, any time of year, doesn't even matter. So stop worrying about it. Stop asking the questions. We just proved it. This stuff does not expand and contract, and it is going to perform wonderfully for another 50 years in your house. If you like these little tests and you like to get the good information, listen, I don't have anything to gain from telling you the truth, except to be honest with you, and then you know where to go to get your information. Stop going online. It's a lousy place to get information. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see other videos and tests like this we're going to do in the future. And you can check out this video right here. We actually are going to explain to you which kind of vinyl is a great vinyl flooring for you to buy, because even when it comes to vinyl, there's more than one kind of vinyl. There's different features and benefits, and you don't want to waste your money buying all talk, no action. See you next time. Beautiful.